I think when the Swamp is at its best, I still think it's the toughest place to play. And I think it goes back to you starting it, giving it the nickname and everything. And now nobody calls it Florida Field. Nobody even calls it Steve Spurrier Field.
No,
No
swamp.
offense.
Swamp is a word that people like to say.
Yeah, yeah.
They just like to say that word swamp. And the opponents, the other kids, when they interviewed the other kids, said, yeah, we're looking forward to playing down there in the swamp
Yeah.
and so forth. So, yeah, that word caught on quickly.
Another duly noted podcast comes to you from the Coach's Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in Celebration Point. Okay, welcome in to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging and coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where there was World Cup mania this weekend. Coach was out here too, and he'll be here today to talk about that and other things. We'll talk about the Swamp and we got a lot of things we're going to talk about. And look forward to that. Robbie Andrew will be here for Yes, No Way, or Maybe, as he is on most Mondays. And then on Thursday, Don Gaffney, quarterback from Florida, long time ago. He was my quarterback when I was a big fan, when I was a kid. But he will join us, and then Coach will be back on Monday, and then Tammy Reese the following Thursday. We've talked about that too, and we look forward to talking to her. And I want to wish everybody out there a happy Father's Day. I hope you had a great Father's Day. I'm sure it was not as good as mine. Mine was perfect. I got up to a great breakfast. I went played golf. I just had a great time. And then I watched a lot of golf, and we watched soccer, and my wife made me an unbelievable meal. And the dessert she made for me is an all-timer. She knows that I'm not a big chocolate guy, but I like tart, and so she took a recipe that was chocolatey and made it into this unbelievable pie. It was incredible. Anyway, I love her, and I'm just glad to have her back from her trip over to Paris and Amsterdam. But I know what we got to get to, and that is our Money Metals starting five. MoneyMetals.com is your home for gold and silver purchases, one of the largest distributors in all the United States. 2 Gator grads are running it, and you can reach them at 1-800-800-1865 or at MoneyMetals.com. Okay, well, we'll start off with number one, and it wasn't listed as a number one on my sheet here because it just happened. And again, when you're watching this or listening to this, it's a lot later, and you probably already know about it, but it's certainly a gigantic shift, I think, in the seismic world of college basketball, and that's Dusty May taking the job of the Dallas Mavericks. I got to be honest with you, it just buzzed on my hip here in my phone, and I was like, is this real or not? Because I have seen so many things lately that, look, AI generated, all this stuff that's going on, and you never know, but it said CBS Sports, and I go, okay, it must be real. Now, this is, again, a guy who was a Florida assistant, and we remember very fondly, very good dude. Went to FAU and obviously did great things there. Went to Michigan and won an Natty there. I mean, this guy knows what he's doing. And I was wondering if Billy Donovan might go to Dallas because it's less of a rebuilding job than what he was dealing with in Chicago. But I think Billy's just, and we talked with Brian about that, I think he's pretty much sitting out the year. Anyway, now the Michigan job is open, and Coach Spurrier, I'm sure we'll talk to him about this, but maybe Billy wants to go there. Maybe Billy wants to sit out the year, and I think there's a part of him that does. But I will say this, the Michigan job is a very, very, very attractive job, and I'm sure every AD in the country is a little nervous right now. Now, I would think that one that wouldn't be nervous would be Scott Strickland. And here's why I wouldn't think so. You don't convince Thomas Houck and Alex Condon and Ruben Chinyelu and Denzel Aberdeen and Boogie Flan to come back and try to run this thing one more time and see if they can't win another national championship and then bolt on them. You don't do that. I don't see that happening in any way. I mean, no matter how much money they want to throw at him, but I don't think Scott Strickland has to worry about Todd Golden leaving this year. Now, obviously, his name's going to come up for any job, any major jobs that open up. And when I say major, I'm talking about real blue bloods. But Michigan, and I would consider Michigan I don't know about blue blood basketball. They kind of go back and forth. You know, you had the Fab Four and that team that won the Natty, and it wasn't the Fab Four, but that other team that won the Natty was Steve Fisher. But, you know, I don't know. Anyway, what I'm saying is that is going to be interesting, and I can't wait to read all the speculation of who's going to take that job. But I wonder if they knew that that's what's going to happen. And I'll be very interested to see what the former Florida assistant does in the NBA. One former Florida assistant is the head coach at Oklahoma City and won a natty, or not a natty, an NBA final at Oklahoma City. So, and I was surprised he didn't win another one this year, to be honest with you. All right, so that is our number one. It was going to be something else, and that'll be number two on our Money Medals starting five, and that will be what's going on with Gator baseball. And it's been an interesting, and look, I'll share it, not the exact text, but I'll share you the basic premise of what it was. I sent Sully a text congratulating him on getting Rich Dorman as his pitching coach, because I know how highly respected it is, and he goes, we're not even close to done. And again, they've gotten two guys from Oregon State. I'm sure Oregon State's not big fans of Sully or Florida, but this kid, Zach Edwards, who came on at the end of the year and was a great pitcher for them, great closer. I don't know if he's going to be a closer or a starter here. Maybe they got him here and said, hey, you can be the third starter. I don't know. I'm going to wait until this is all done before I talk to Sully about it. And we may get him back on the show as well. But I think he'll be a reliever. They got John Martinez, who was here earlier, and then sat out the whole year, and then went to I want to say FAU, and I didn't write it down. He's an infielder and could solve the problem at second base with Cade Curlin leaving. They're still going. They're going to keep adding it through the portal, and that's the way you kind of have to build. Sully has always believed in recruiting more than anything. He was slow to come into the portal world, I think mentally, but now I think he's all in on it, and he understands it. He's got to be able to get the donor money, because you've got to be able to afford it. And Florida's still way down the list on teams spending the most money, but it does seem to be interesting how well they're doing, and there seems to be a fire with Sully that maybe was a little bit extinguished during the whole issues that he was going through and everything. There's definitely a fire there. He does not want to lose like they lost this year, to win all those games, to get to that point, to where you're a top 8 seed and then lose. They lost to a team that ended up having a great run, but he didn't want to lose like that because they didn't pitch. You never want to lose because you can't pitch that's when you've made your reputation. Anyway, it's going to be interesting this year with Gator baseball. Let's get to number 3 on our Money Medals starting 5, and that will be the World Cup. I got chastised by multiple people for not talking about the World Cup enough last week. And I don't know what our level of interest is in it. All of our many listeners, and we've got millions and billions of them. But I agree. I'm paying attention to the World Cup, and so I'll be happy to talk about it. And I watched I made this point in my column that I write for Main Street Daily News that I would think that anybody born in this month might have a chance to be named Mauricio, because the coach there of the U.S. team, Mauricio, I gotta say it right, Peratino, whatever it is, Peratino, whatever his name is legit. Think about this stat. He is tied for the most wins as a World Cup coach from the United States in history, with 2. He's got 2. Our history's not great. One of the guys was 1930, and I did not cover that. I swear to you, I did not cover that match. But 1930, and then the other one was Bruce Arenas, who'd won 2 matches in his whole career. This guy's won 2 right away. And they're fun to watch. There's no doubt about it. The 2-0 win over Australia. Got an own goal, which was certainly interesting. And it's been kind of a lot of fun to watch it. We'll ask Robbie a question, and we'll ask Coach about the World Cup because I know he was here for it. It is exciting, man, and I get it, and I get the pageantry. I will say this about it: all the stuff that's going on seems just incredible to us, who are maybe not big soccer fans. We don't watch Premier League, and we don't, I do understand it, and I get why people love it. I've covered soccer for a long time. I covered a lot of soccer, but we're football people, as the most part, not football, but football. And sometimes it's hard for us to understand how big a deal it is internationally. But when we watch national games and we see these football stadiums sold out, football, not football, we kind of are excited about it. But hey, just remember, it's like an SEC game, except there's less hate. SEC games, there's a lot of hate. There's no doubt about it. But it's been fun to watch, and this Cabo Verde team has been fun to watch. The Ivory Coast team was fun to watch. It's been, look, I've watched a lot of it. My wife's been ill since she got back from France. But still got up to make me dinner. But she's kind of been in her bed with a little bit of bronchitis. But so she has no choice but to watch everybody. And she's got a choice. She could watch other shows, but she's into it too. She came running out. She goes, "I saw a goal." I go, "I know, I'm watching it too." Anyway, we'll keep taking care of her. All right, let us get to number 4 on our Money Medals starting 5, and that is the U.S. Open. Obviously, no Gators made the cut. Billy Horschel missed by a shot. That's encouraging that he's playing better. For a while there, he was on the leaderboard, but faded away. Poor Jackson Orman shot 80 the first day. But I was really into it. I was a little disappointed when Wyndham Clark had a big lead. So was I rooting against him? Absolutely. Was I doing it loudly? No. Was I making an ass of myself? No. Was I getting kicked out of the U.S. Open by rooting against him? No. But there were a lot of people that did, and I think it is what it is. Look, he's had his issues. I don't think it helps when they just kind of talk about he's had his issues, but don't get specific about it on NBC. NBC's coverage was not good to me, but I didn't really care for it. And interviewing his psychologist was just way over the top. And I think that kind of brings that kind of dislike for him. But it was like a Ryder Cup, and it was weird because he is from the United States of America. But the weirdest thing, and my wife and I were watching it, when he won and he was celebrating and everything, and my wife said, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this in my life. Nobody is celebrating with him. The fans are not happy. They're not cheering for him. I've never seen this for a guy who just won the U.S. Open." And I go, I know, it's almost like he was playing for Europe and they were playing on American soil. His group, his people were very happy. He's a really good golfer. I don't really have a problem with it, with him. But I think it's 3 things. 1, it was New York. I don't have to say anything else. 2, I think Shinnecock makes people angry. And I think they get angry because they're having to take a train there, and then they're having to navigate all these weird hills and everything, and they just get mad, and they get drunk, and they get madder. And 3 was that Wyndham Clark has had issues in the past, and he's trying to make up for it and apologizing 100 times. But the bottom line is he's a really good player, and that was interesting. And we were all rooting for Scotty Scheffler, yes. And we were not rooting for a guy who had a 6-shot lead, unless his name was Billy Horschel or Chris DeMarco in the old days. That's the bottom line. Anyway, it was certainly interesting. All right, let us get to number 5, and it's always on Mondays. It is Steve and Christine Wendig present Our Gator Olympic Athlete of the Week is brought to you by Boss Hart Realty. We appreciate Steve and Christine. So luckily, we still got Gators doing good things, even though college sports is over now, except for one game. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But freshman Claire Stiegel, who is really a phenom, and it's amazing what Mike Holloway's able to do, getting all these great athletes in there. For the USA Under-20 team, won the 1500 out there in Eugene, Oregon, the capital of track, and set a school record as a result. And she is our Olympic Athlete of the Week. And congratulations to Claire Stiegel. She's going to be something. Again, just going into her sophomore year next year. So she's going to be really good. All right. That's for Steve and Christine Wendig. We appreciate them for Boss Hart Realty. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the coach, the HBC Steve Spurrier. Then we'll do a little yes, no, where, maybe with Robbie Andrew. All that and more coming up on another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios.
Give me 60 seconds and I'll show you why you should be buying silver and how to get started. Recent price spikes in groceries, healthcare, gasoline, steel, and lumber tell the story of inflation, as do raging bull markets and equities in housing. As the reality of all this inflation sinks in, investors will be acting quickly to diversify and protect themselves, their families, and their assets. That's why we're offering our Silver Starter Kit to help you get started in holding tangible wealth. This mix of our most recommended forms of silver includes 9 silver coins, totaling 4 troy ounces of fine silver. These pure silver coins have a low bid-ask spread, the difference between the price you pay to buy and the price you receive to sell. Low transaction costs are one reason Investopedia calls Money Metals the best dealer in America. Don't waste any more time. Start protecting your savings today with physical precious metals at moneymetals.com/go.
I got thinking the other day, some of us gained a few pounds during the Spurrier years, and then maybe a few more during Urban. And depending on how stressful certain coaching changes were, well, let's just say the scale kept moving in the wrong direction. The truth is, losing weight gets harder as we get older. Not because you suddenly get lazy, biology changes. That's why I like our guys at BMI TeleMed. They're a Florida-based medical weight management telehealth practice that helps people lose weight with personalized treatment plans, including GLP-1 therapies. But what I like is they're not just about losing weight fast and wishing you luck. They focus on helping you keep it off too. Free consultation, easy process, real clinicians. Check them out at bmitelemed.com, because if your metabolism left town around the time Urban did, you're probably not alone. That's bmitelemed.com. Okay, welcome back to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging and coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. It's a Meldon Monday, so we have the coach in here, sponsored by Meldon Law. We appreciate them, and we appreciate Coach. Always like having him in here, and I know that a lot of people on Friday liked having him in here because he was here watching the soccer. You enjoyed the soccer.
Yeah, the soccer was interesting. A couple of scores. When they score, everybody goes crazy. Yeah. I'm not a great soccer fan because there's not a lot of action. 1-0 playing for 2 or 3 hours or something. But anyway, the whole country comes together, so it's neat to have it. But anyway, happy Father's Day, all you dads out there. Yesterday was Father's Day. Of course, I always think about my dad, and he was a preacher at small churches. We were living in Newport, Tennessee, and he and our dentist, Dr. Hobart Ford, they got Little League started. There was no Little League baseball. So my dad was the coach, Little League baseball, and then when we moved to Johnson City, he was sort of an assistant coach to the team that got me. And but anyway, he loved baseball. And, of course, his famous line was, how many of you kids believe it's not whether you win or lose, but how you play the game? And, of course, about all of them raised their hands. I didn't because I knew. But Dad would always say, if you're keeping score, you got to try your best to win. You got to try your best to win. I was accused in pro football of winning those preseason games.
Yep, I remember that.
Said,
yep.
I'm glad you accused me of that. We are trying to win. We play everybody, and we take, it's designed to give everybody a chance, but as long as you keep them score, you got to try to win. So anyway, I thank my dad for all of that, certainly.
No, I'm the same way with my dad. So I went and played golf yesterday and on Father's Day because my wife said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "Play golf." So got out there, and as I walk in to the course, there's somebody there, and they're having a discussion, and they go, "Hey, you'll know. What is the difference between the interlocking and the regular grip? Why would you have the interlocking grip?" And I go, "Because my dad taught me when I was 13 years old. He goes, here's the way you grip the club."
Yeah.
So that's the way I've gripped it my whole life. And I mean, when you think of all the things your dad did for you, and you and I are both in the same boat there, and it's really pretty cool. And to be a father too is really fun. Although
Certainly.
my children are in different parts of the world right now.
Yeah.
And yours are in Pensacola and
Well, Steve Jr. lives here.
Steve and
but
Lisa do, yeah.
Yeah, he was actually up in the Boston area, Boston College. Palmer and his mom were visiting that college up there, and he might and Palmer may go look at Harvard.
Really?
Now, he's only a sophomore in high school, so he's got some time before all that. But he was looking around a little bit.
No, nobody ever took me around to look at anything when I was a kid. I went to junior college because somebody told me that's where you need to go. I go, whatever. Yeah. It was fine with me. St. John's River Community College. All right, let's talk a little golf because I know you were enthralled by all this. I want to get your take on Wyndham Clark and the way everybody was rooting against him, and he became a villain. And what was your take on that whole thing?
Oh, I didn't care really who won much, but it was fun watching the guys compete.
Yeah.
And you realize how much, I don't know, luck or whatever, but just the ability to get the ball in the hole. Because the rough, I mean, he hit one, they said he can barely find it. Next thing I knew, he hit it about 200 yards up there, knocked it on the green, and made par.
Yep.
So he was, you got to putt, got to chip, and all that kind of stuff, but they all hit it crooked occasionally. But he chipped and putted better than everybody.
Yeah, Shinnecock, I don't know if you've ever played Shinnecock. I never played there.
I played it.
Did you? What was it like for you playing there?
Well, we didn't play the back tees where they were playing from, but my friend Malcolm McLeod, in fact, I called him. He took me on a trip, back in about 95, I want to say, 94, 95. I was coaching here, and back then we sort of had the summers off. We did the Gator clubs. We didn't work year-round. So we had about a 6-day golf trip up there that was unbelievable. So Shinnecock, Maidstone, the national course, and then we went over and played Pine Valley and another one up there. We had about 6 famous courses.
Long Island, they've got so many golf courses there. It's unbelievable.
And they're all highly ranked. When you look at the national rankings, they're all in the top 20, about 5 or 6 of them at least.
So how did you like
I think I broke 80 at Shinnecock.
Did you?
Yeah, my man Malcolm, I called him. I said, I think I shot 78 or so there, didn't I? He said, yeah, you had a good day at Shinny. Really did. So anyway, you can remember when you have a good day.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember that one.
Oh, yeah. I remember the good days I've had. And it's been a long time since I've had
Yeah,
NES.
it's been a long time since 78.
But it was even like on Father's Day, it was fun just to get out and play, just to still be able to get out and play. But I don't know. It's like everybody was rooting for Scheffler because he, getting the career Grand Slam and everything, and he's a more popular player. I thought the way they treated Wyndham Clark was a little bit over the top. He's got some issues. Yeah, he comes across as cocky, but he's a pretty good player, And he's won 2 U.S. Opens.
He's won 2 Opens. Yeah, he's a good player. I guess he had some anger issues and tore up the clubhouse someplace.
Yeah, Oakmont.
They banned him for a year or 2, didn't they? Or
I think he's banned for life.
For life.
I don't know when it comes back to Oakmont. I don't know. I guess he can't play.
I don't know. But he certainly is a good player. There's no question about that.
Yeah, and it was fun to watch. So that I don't know. It was kind of weird to watch because you're like, somebody needs to make a charge here. Nobody could do it. Nobody ever could make a real charge. Sam Burns made a little one yesterday, but every time and Rory was really disappointing. I was rooting for him to win, but I always root for the Irish guys. But it was still fun to watch. I still watched 4 days of it.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens going forward. All right, so we got the World Cup again. It's coming up on Thursday night, but I'm not staying up till 10 to watch that. Are you?
No, I won't stay up that late. The World Cup, yeah, they have some exciting games and big crowds, so it is a big event, no question about it.
And we know what everybody keeps talking about how crazy it is and wild and everything, and I'm like, have you ever been to an SEC football game? Because it's the same way. It's packed, everybody's mad at each other, and they want them to, SEC football is still the best.
I found an old picture of myself when I got here in '90. That off season, we put the north end zone in and all that. You know how much all that cost, the north end zone?
No.
Well, you guess. Not that much.
Well, it didn't
nowadays
cost
terms.
$20 billion.
$17 million to build that thing.
Wow.
The south end zone, all those seats and everything. I couldn't believe it. And I was out there with the shovel with the board of supervisors lady was there and took a picture. And now for the renovation, it's a lot more than $17 million, as we know. But that's just the way things have gone up nowadays, price-wise.
Yeah,
So
I mean they put that those the suites out there, and I love that. I've been in those suites before.
Yeah.
It's really nice out there. I think that was a great addition.
It really was.
And it certainly made the swamp more condensed. Like they're right on top of you. I think when the swamp is at its best, I still think it's the toughest place to play. And I think it goes back to you starting it, giving it the nickname and everything. And now nobody calls it Florida Field. Nobody even calls it Steve Spurrier Field.
No,
No offense.
Swamp is a word that people like to say.
Yeah.
They just like to say that word, swamp. And the opponents, the other kids, when they interviewed the other kids, said, yeah, we're looking forward to playing down there in the swamp and so forth. So, that word caught on quickly.
Some of it is just how sweaty you get. That makes it a swamp. Watching games, especially those September games in there. When you were playing, I remember you guys would open up against a northern school a lot of times, like Illinois or Northwestern.
Northwestern came in.
And you know that they were going to wear down late in the game, and you had Gatorade going too.
Yeah, we would play most of our games at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, right in there.
Yes.
Occasionally, we'd very seldom had a night game, so it's mostly always 1 or 2 o'clock. And there was no TV much back then.
No,
I think
there wasn't.
one SEC game, wherever that may be, each week, and that was it. So, yeah, there was not much TV back in the '60s.
Yeah, well, and we'll see what goes on, because the TV contracts are a big part of what's going on with the playoffs and whether it's going to expand, how much it's going to expand. I don't know where you coming down on this. I know the SEC doesn't want it to go to 24. They want to go to 16. The Big Ten's fighting it. I don't know if this Save College Sports Act or whatever it's called is going to do any good or not.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting. I mean, I would think 16 is plenty of teams. But what they've done, the conference championship game is now in jeopardy of being fouled. And, people could say, well, we never had a championship game until 92. So before that, just whoever's got the best record is SEC champ. And you can have co-champs, which we had a whole bunch before that. So it may come to that. I've always liked that SEC championship game. Everybody cannot be the national champ. There's only one out of 200-something schools with any chance. So I hope they can keep it, but they may not be able to.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, certainly you remember your 4 SEC championships in a row very well. And, I mean, only one of those led to a national championship. I mean, you got into 2 games in a row, but only one led to actually winning a national title. But you remember those 93 and 94 teams fondly.
Oh, definitely. 90, I remember all of them very well. And I remember 2 of the teams, 98 and 01, that were just almost as good as the 96 team. We clobbered everybody, but we had 2 very close, tough losses. And we finished 3rd and 4th in the nation, but we didn't win the SEC or anything. Sort of like Urban's 09 team.
Yep.
They went 13-1.
13-1.
But they lost the conference championship game to Alabama, so they didn't win it. They didn't win the national. Finished 2nd in the nation, I think. And we don't recognize those teams that finished 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and the 5th in the nation. I think we should a little bit more. but you almost have to win a championship. Where our 2000 team won it, but we lost the bowl game and did not finish, I think, in the top 10 that year. I think we had 3 losses, but still we remember it because it won the SEC.
Well, you know what's funny about that is that like all those Orange Bowl trophies and everything, they're just kind of shoved into a corner there in the ticket office. They're not displayed prominently, but I mean. That 67, which would have been your 66 year, winning that Orange Bowl was a huge memory for me. I remember watching that game on TV. It was huge. And I still think about that game all the time. Larry Smith running 94 yards or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was our first major bowl victory.
Yeah.
And that was, it's going to be 66 years this year. 66 to 26.
Yeah.
So anyway.
That is a long time.
We ought to have a 60-year reunion for that team.
You should, yeah.
I think I'm going to try to put that together.
See, look what we got started here on another Dooley Noted podcast. Well, I know you got the Silver 60s coming up, too, and that's fun for you.
Yeah, that is this weekend. We started that about 56 years ago, 1970. Still got a bunch of guys still alive that played in the 60s. Seems like all of their widows are they're in better health than the men were. But, we're going to have it over at St. Augustine Beach this year at the Embassy Suites Friday and Saturday night. So hopefully get to see a bunch of old teammates come back and their families and so forth.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy that. We were just there for Robbie and Jill's 25th anniversary.
Wonderful.
So it's a really cool place. And right there by the pier. So, and you got walking distance to anything you want to go and see, but that'll be cool. So that's that team, the Silver 60s team. Was that put together for anybody who was in the 60s?
That played in the 60s, yeah, all the 60s, because that was Coach Graves' years, 60 through 69. Right. So he was our 60 coach, and he and his wife and family came almost every year, and his daughters, 1 or 2 of them will probably be there also this year.
Yeah, it is a cool event, and it's cool to remember those teams because don't forget Florida football, and we've talked about this before, but Florida football from 60 to 69 was really good compared to where it had been. And then obviously when you came here, it all took off. But Coach Graves deserves a lot of credit for what he was able to do.
You know, he's still the second winningest coach. Yep. He won 70 games. I don't know how many coaches we've had, but it's a bundle. And
I'm not sure they add up to 70.
He went the year he got fired or let go. We went 9-1-1.
Yeah,
that was John Reeves and Durrance and all those guys. That '69 team, which was one of the best in school history. So anyway, he could have had a few more years. Most people thought.
Yeah. Apparently he wanted them too, and. They had already made the decision. They were getting rid of him.
Supposedly they had hired Coach Dickey during the summer.
Yeah.
And all right, he's coming.
Isn't that ironic, though? They fired your coach, who you love very much, and they hired a coach who would give you a job finally and start your career.
Yep, certainly. Oh, yeah. I admire Coach Dickey tremendously and thank him every time I get a chance. In fact, I've got a list of people who hired me when I didn't have a job, and President Bryan hired me here at Florida. The athletic director was not the person who hired me. It was President Bryan.
Yeah, he was a salty guy, but
anyway,
he was a very good defensive coordinator. I will say that.
Oh, we got along well.
Yeah.
We got along well. It was just President Bryan he said, "Hey, I'm president. I'm gonna make this hire." Simple as that.
And did you just communicate with him? Pretty much, or did you go through the agent?
Shit, we didn't have agents back then. Nobody had agents. No, I had Uncle Willie O'Neill, local lawyer in
Uncle
town.
Willie, yeah.
He actually went with me as we talked with him at the president's house 2 or 3 weeks before the announcement. In fact, we did the deal at the president's house here on campus about 2.5, 3 weeks before I coached that bowl game, Duke versus Texas Tech in Birmingham. So the deal was done then. We kept it quiet for 3 weeks. It's just amazing how you could keep things quiet like that.
Well, we didn't have an internet then.
Yeah.
That's part of it. But
I snuck in and out of games when nobody saw me.
I know.
No big deal.
I know it's funny. I remember calling you one day. I had called you several times, and you finally said, "What are you looking for?" And he says, "I'm not going to tell you that I took the Florida job. It's not going to happen."
Okay, well, yeah, it wasn't official.
Because what you were, I think what you told them was, if you're still going to offer me the job after the bowl game, I'll take it. That was.
Is that right? Well, we pretty much had it all done. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you were able to keep it quiet. That was pretty good.
Yeah, we did keep it pretty quiet. But
do you remember that it was New Year's Eve when you took the job? When you had your press conference?
Yeah, press conference was
Yeah.
actually, before New Year's Day. Yeah, it was New Year's Eve. Yeah,
I remember that because
that was the week we had a little snow in Gainesville.
we did.
Remember that?
That's right. We
Florida
did.
Field was full of snow on that AstroTurf.
Yep.
Yeah, we got rid of the AstroTurf. Man, our players said, "Man, this Coach Spurrier is the greatest guy in the world." Got rid of that dang AstroTurf, and they love that natural grass.
Oh man, not only that, but that AstroTurf was bad. I mean, it was hot and it was stinky, and everybody who'd spit tobacco on it is still there, And but that's all right. We have to get to our Campus USA Play of the Weekend, brought to you by our friends at Campus USA, where Coach Spurrier is a spokesman and we both bank. We love our friends at Campus USA. So here's our Play of the Weekend, brought to you by Campus USA. John Rahm, one of the great kicks of all time.
Man, hit it right on the heel.
Yeah.
That was a good kick.
Well, that's not really our Campus USA Play of the Weekend. We're going to give you this from Kendra Falby, who playing in the AUSL. I know you guys remember. She's also your first base coach. What a catch there from Kendra Falby. She's playing for Portland, I believe it is. So that was really good. And I watched a little bit of this because I'm always looking to see some of the former Gator players and how they're doing.
Yeah.
It's nice that we have that opportunity and that they have that opportunity as well. All right, Coach, you got anything else?
That's about it. Summertime. What's our sport right now? Are we off for a little while? I think
there's a little
track's over.
Everything's done and wrapped up, and we'll just have to get to the summer, and then we'll have fun with what should be a fun.
Yeah, I like what Coach Summerall he gives these guys a little time off.
Yeah.
Most of these coaches all over the country, they sit there like in the middle of the summer with nothing to do, but he gives these guys a couple of weeks off here, there, and the other, and I think that's smart, really do.
Yeah, absolutely. We had Bam Harbin actually on our podcast last week, and he was great, and of course played for you, and. Really good player. He was a tackling machine, wasn't he?
Yep, he was a good one. A lot of good ones.
Yep. All right, we'll get out of here. We'll be back on another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios with Robbie Andrew for Yes No Where, maybe right after this break.
Meldon Law has been serving personal injury victims since 1971. In those days, Jeffrey Meldon's presence as an attorney in the music scene dubbed him with the nickname the Hippie Attorney. And although times have changed, two things haven't: our commitment to bettering our community by helping the injured,
Albert, are you ready to go to the game?
and our love for the Florida Gators.
If you bleed orange and blue, Meldon Law is the firm for you.
Adams Rib Company has been a staple of Gainesville for more than a decade and a staple of the Dooley house ever since Kelsey's teeth came in. The first time I walked into Adams, I told my daughter that the green beans are always a test of a great barbecue restaurant, and they were perfect. You know about the ribs that melt in your mouth, and my favorite, the turkey plate. But be sure to go in on Fridays for Nana's Fish Nuggets. They will melt in your mouth. Adams Rib Co., a Gainesville great.
Titan MRI, North Central Florida's premier independent diagnostic testing MRI facility. At Titan MRI, we're focused on you, the patient, having a great customer experience. Our MRI equipment is modern and 75% quieter than any unit in its class. And our MRI unit has one of the largest openings of any of the newer high-strength MRI units, which allows comfortable scanning for potential claustrophobic and larger patients. At Titan MRI, we look forward to serving you.
Okay, welcome back to another duly noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging, coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. It's always great to bring on my good friend Robert A. Andrew, who is going to play Yes No Where, maybe with me, and coming to you on the Big Mills Cheesesteaks Zoom line. Robbie, we had a great time in St. Augustine last week, and Coach is going over there again this week to the same hotel we stayed at. Do you think he's following us?
Maybe, but he's going to have a great time. Him and the Silver 60s people are going to have a great time over there like we did. It was an unbelievable few days together. We had a great time.
Yeah, we'll give him free publicity, the Embassy Suites.
Oh, it's really you don't even feel like you're in St. Augustine. It's like you're, in the Panhandle somewhere at a resort.
Yeah,
So
it was
really
great.
cool.
It really is a resort, and it was nice that my sister sent over some champagne for us too.
It was, and that went down too.
Well, it went down because you were celebrating your Knicks
Yeah.
winning it all. We watched that. Now again, this was a long time ago. It feels like it was forever ago, but
Yeah, but Chris Terry openly rooting against my team in my room was like, come on.
Well, we know what it's
That
saying.
is so hairy, isn't it?
I know. It is so hairy. That is a new phrase. It's so hairy. Yes. All right. How was your Father's Day, by the way? Happy Father's Day.
Well, same to you, Pat. It was great. It was a great day. A 10 out of 10 for sure.
Yeah, same with mine. All right, let's play Yes, No, Where, Maybe. Brought to you by Big Mill's Cheesesteaks, the place to go for any of your needs to have lunch. I mean, it is a great place to eat. Sausage dogs. If you want to get any ham, I tell you, the hamburger there is really good too. In fact, it's making me hungry for a hamburger right now. Big Mill's Cheesesteak, street dining done the right way. And if you go in there and say you listen to the podcast, you get free French fries with your order. I know multiple people have told me that they enjoyed their French fries for free because they mentioned Big Mill's Cheesesteak. Let's get to number one on Yes, No, Where, Maybe for Robbie Andrew. Robbie, you are okay with the way New Yorkers treated Wyndham Clark.
I'm going to go with a no way on that one, Pat. I mean, I was at home in front of my TV rooting against the guy, which that's okay.
I was too, yes.
Yeah, because
he had a big lead, yeah.
Yeah, you wanted him to come back to the field so
Right.
you'd have a great Father's Day U.S. Open, which is something you really look forward to. But to negative root in front of him and to yell and stuff, that's not the way golf is. I mean, it's a gentleman's game. Rooting against a guy in front of your TV is one thing. Openly abusing him verbally at the course, it doesn't fly with me. And I did.
No.
I cursed him a few times, but he didn't hear it. So
You could do that quietly. Yeah, no, but that's the point. I'm not a Wyndham Clark fan, and I don't like some of the things he's done. I think if he was playing, and I said this earlier, any other sport, nobody would care that he trashed a locker. Nobody would care that he threw a club. I mean,
no.
Golf has a different set of kind of rules to live by.
It's called etiquette too, Pat. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
I didn't even know that he had broken up some lockers and stuff like that. And the only reason I was pulling against him, like we said, he had the big lead. We wanted to be worth watching, and it got to be where it was worth watching. So it turned out to be good.
Yeah, I agree. And it was, I mean, I think they showed their butts. Rick Riley, I saw he tweeted out that they should not let any more majors be in the state of New York. I'm like, well, I think they're there
That's
in
a good idea.
3 years.
But
though.
this is like the residue of the Ryder Cup, which that has become a massive cheering against the other country and fans being rude. And the last one was where? New York, right?
Yeah. Well, think about this, Beth Page. Yeah. Think about this. Maybe they thought Wyndham Clark was Swedish and played for Team Europe or something.
Yeah, I think the spelling of his first name maybe threw him off, and they thought that he was Swedish.
Anyway, all right. Let's get to number two on our Big Mill's Cheesesteaks. Yes, no way, or maybe. Robbie, you have watched more than 5 minutes of the World Cup.
Oh, absolutely, Pat. I mean, I've watched both of the U.S. games from start to finish, and I'm real excited about the U.S. team. I think there's a team from the U.S. that has a chance to go places. I mean, it's a very talented team. They play hard, they play fast, and I've enjoyed it. And watching them has made me turn on other games too. So I've seen a whole bunch of the World Cup and enjoyed all of it.
Well, I am surprised by that answer for one reason, and that is that because you and I both covered soccer in our lives.
Yeah.
But the only reason it surprises me is that when I mentioned Saturday when we were talking about maybe going out and watching some golf, I said, yeah, we'd like to go somewhere we could also watch the World Cup. Or Friday, I guess it was, yeah.
Yeah.
We could also watch the World Cup, and you went, okay. So I thought you were
that's what Jill and I did. We went and enjoyed the whole game, and we met a fan from Wales, and he sat next to us. That was fun too. So we had a great time. And I covered the Tampa Bay Rowdies for 2 or 3 years, so you cover a sport and you get to where you understand it and you enjoy it more. And I think that's where I'm at with this World Cup, that I'm enjoying. 1-0 games are still enjoyable to me now.
Well, and again, you have to have, I think in soccer more than any sport, you have to have somebody to root for. You're rooting for or against. You're negative rooting against maybe Iran, which, or maybe Iraq or whoever, and you're positive rooting for, who was it, Cabo Verde, who's never been in the World Cup before. So it gives you something to root for,
Yeah, but I've really enjoyed it, and I think it's mainly because the U.S. is a factor right now.
Yep, absolutely. We'll see how they do. All right, let's get to number 3 on our yes, nowhere, maybe with Robbie Andrew, and that is that the Twins have pulled to within 3.5 games, and that is going to give you rejuvenation for this baseball season. You're excited again about watching baseball.
I'm going to have to go a no way on that one, Pat. I mean, it's not like the Twins have done anything. It's like everybody in the division sucks. So
they won 3 in a row.
Okay, but still, I mean, they are what they are, Pat. They're probably not even a 500 team by the end of the year, and I think I've learned to accept that. And sometimes if they win, I'll look at the box score. But other than that, I don't really keep up with it anymore. It's like, I didn't even know they'd won 3 in a row. So that's where I'm at with the Twins.
I think they're on TV one day this week. So if you want to watch it, I mean,
I may check it out.
It may be on Prime Video though.
I did notice that upcoming for them, they have to play at the Dodgers and somewhere else really good. So so much for that rejuvenation you're talking about.
Tuesday night, Dodgers at Twins, and that is on TBS at 7:40. So there you go.
I'll take a peek at that.
Hey, why not?
I'll look at the first couple of innings before we fall behind, and then I'll flip it.
Hey, Dodgers, Braves took 2 out of 3 for the Dodgers, so anything can happen. All right, Robbie, we'll let you go, buddy.
Okay, Pat. Have a good one. Good talking to you.
Thanks, man. Okay, always great having Robbie on the show. We appreciate him so much, and as we appreciate all of our advertisers. I'll be honest with you. I know the summer is going to be, we're going to have fun. We're going to do some fun things. I know everybody appreciates the effort, but we're still looking for a couple of advertisers because a couple have had to drop off, and someone just dropped off for the summer. But just give me a call or send me an email, patrickdooley54@gmail.com, because we'd love to get some people on. We've got a lot of people that are excited about the podcast, and I can send you all the numbers and everything, and we'll let you know how many people are listening to it and watching it, and we appreciate that. Also, I want to mention that our own Zach Rothrock has written a book. How about that? That is cool. The Amy, is it pronounced the Amy Construct?
Construct, yeah.
Amy Construct, okay.
Construct,
See,
yeah.
Zach Rothrock. Look at that.
I appreciate it.
How cool is that? I am going to read it. I got a book from my daughter that was written by the late Rob Reiner about Spinal Tap, and so I'm going to read that because it's one of my favorite movies. So these 2 books are going to be my summer reading to start off, and I need to do more reading and less TV watching. I can tell you that. All right, let us go ahead and get to our Adams Ribco Gator of the weekend. It's brought to you by our friends at Adams Ribco, the place to go for all your barbecue needs. It is unbelievable there. And our Adams Ribco Gator of the weekend, again, I want to point this out. You're welcome to join me, and I'll buy you lunch as the Adams Ribco Gator of the weekend. Still, nobody's taking me up on it. I think it says something about me, but maybe this one will work. But and again, this is legit. It is John Summerall is our Adams Ribco Gator of the weekend. And the reason it is because, and again, I didn't go to Friday Night Lights. I don't go to those things. But I talk to people and I read things. And apparently Friday Night Lights is back to the Urban Meyer level where they're bringing in elite talent and it's a big deal. And it's, it kind of faded away. And then it really faded away under Coach Napier. He just didn't believe in the same kind of things, but it apparently is a big deal again, and they had guys that were unbelievable, and they got to watch a lot of the guys that Florida's got commitments from, and we'll see what goes forward. Again, they had their big barbecue on Saturday, and we'll see how it all goes with commitments going forward. But that's the bottom line is John Summerall just keeps doing right things. And again, it's easy for us to sit here and say, yeah, well, but he hadn't coached the game yet. Yeah, I get that. I totally understand it, and I've used that discussion with people. But the guy just keeps doing right things, and it's going to lead to the right thing. I believe that. I believe there's a path here that he is on. And a little bit later today, I'm going to give you, and on this segment, my prediction for Florida football this year. This is the first one I'm going to make that is the one I'm living with, okay? And it's going to be Mark Guida Presents the 12, and it's going to be the 12 games. I'm going to pick them all. But anyway, John Summerall is our Adams Ribco Gator of the weekend. Let's move along to our Leonardo's of Millhopper quick pick. We got a lot of people that are in, but unfortunately, we don't know who won the College World Series yet, but we'll find out soon. And I know that the guy who won last week, I haven't got it to you yet. I've been dealing with some stuff, and it's going to come to you. It's probably going in the mail today, maybe tomorrow. But Leonardo's $25 gift certificate, you can use as long as you want. So there's no hurry on that. And then I will tell you that we showed you that TRTL thing that you use on a plane to kind of help you sleep and everything. And how is a Gator themed. It was really cool. And I asked my wife because they sent me two, so she took one, and we're giving the other one away to our winner from last week. And she said it worked great. So whether you're on a plane or even just just trying to get comfortable, it's going to work well. And I want to thank them again for sending those to us. All right. So our Leonardo's of Millhopper, we're going to give you two chances to qualify here, and one of them is so easy, even I could get it right, and that is who will be the first pick of the draft Tuesday night. Who the first pick is. It's going to be A.J. DeBoncha, okay, unless they screw it up and pick Darren Peterson. But some of you may say Darren Peterson. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens. That's one of them. You'll get two chances to qualify here. The other one is Yanks at Detroit Wednesday night. So we give you plenty of time to get your pick in there. And again, send your picks to patrickdooley54@gmail.com. We'll try to get. We're seeing some newer people. I want to get more new people in to this, and because we're giving away $25 every couple of weeks at Leonardo's, and usually we throw in something like a book or something as well. So. Or a hat, signed hat. Again, if you want that, want to get involved, patrickdooley54@gmail.com. All right, let us move along to our BMI TeleMed Overachiever of the weekend, brought to you by our friends at BMI TeleMed, the weight loss specialists. Achieve and maintain. 727-383-1677. Give them a call. Tell them Pat Dooley sent you. You get a discount on your order. Work for me, it'll work for you. All right, our BMI TeleMed Overachiever of the weekend is the freshmen, who will be drafted on Tuesday night, because this is amazing. I looked at the latest ESPN mock draft. I was just curious because it's so weird. Like, I want to watch the draft, but I never watch drafts because drafts are boring as a rule. They last way too long. The NFL draft is streamlined better, but basketball draft, I would watch if Gators were involved. Well, all the Gators said, no, we'd rather play college another year. So we're not going to have to worry about that. And it makes it way less interesting for me, but it's still going to be, interesting to check back with it. But the top 10 picks, how many freshmen do you think, Zach, are among the top 10 picks in the first round of the draft? At least according to ESPN.
Oh, that's tough because of foreign players. So I'm going to say maybe 6.
6 is your answer?
Yeah.
The answer is 10.
Okay.
All 10. And again, it's like guys like Darius Acuff and, people are really high on this freshman class. And we saw it during the year where every team's best player was a freshman.
Yeah.
And so they're even through the NCAA tournament. Not Florida's, but Florida has been, it's a different kind of team right now. Anyway, they are our overachievers of the weekend because all 10 could be freshman could be the first 10 picks of the draft. Anyway, did I spit that out okay? All right. Let's move along. We always love this. Our Hesser and Kipke, 3 things. Hesser and Kipke, with over 50 years of combined legal experience in North and Central Florida, Hesser and Kipke is your place for bankruptcy, workers' compensation, and family law. Call or text Ken and Jennifer at 352-339-9920, Hesser and Okay, we'll start off with number 1 will be the College World Series, which we were going to talk about earlier till that Dusty May thing happened, but we ended up waiting till our Hesser and Kipke segment, which is always a point. Yeah, it's a point of pride for people to be in the Hesser and Kipke 3 things. I'll tell you that much. But College World Series has been interesting. I've watched a lot of it on the second TV. You know, I get the 3 TVs rolling. But it's the finals tonight. So a lot of you, by the time you listen to this, will know who has won already. Get words out of your mouth, Pat. But obviously North Carolina and Oklahoma, it's been interesting to watch. It's been interesting to watch all the people. I mean, Oklahoma, Tim Walton is there as a former Oklahoma pitcher. Bobby Stoops is there, Barry Switzer, Roy Williams, Eric Church, who's a North Carolina guy. A lot of celebrities there, and it's packed, and I think everybody's having a great time. It feels like it is. When it's LSU's there, you're not going to have as good a time because they're going to be obnoxious. But I think everybody's kind of respects each other. And this Oklahoma team's been amazing, but they still are 1 win away. And if they don't win this last game, they'll go. God, we were so close. We'll see what happens though. It's going to be interesting, and I'm looking forward to watching it, to be honest with you. That's an every pitch watch. I think the final game of the season, when it's a final game in college baseball. A lot of people don't like college baseball. But I do, and I'm going to watch it. I can tell you that. All right, let's get to number 2 on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things. And that is this story that is kind of a source story, so I assume it's true. I keep looking for more on it, but it's hard to find, that Dylan Raiola. Now, I know you probably know his name. He went to Nebraska, big-time recruit. Didn't do much there, but got in the portal, went to Oregon, got a lot of money to go to Oregon. And guess what? Now he said, hey, I would rather go to Texas Tech now that Brendan Sorsby's gone, now that he's gone to the supplemental draft. And, I mean, can you imagine what would happen if that happens and Texas Tech and Oregon play for the national championship? It would be unbelievable. Anyway, look, I don't know why he went there anyway, because their quarterback came back, Dante Moore, but it's just part of the problem here. And look, I still don't think Congress is going to solve this. We've already seen them attach things to bills, this Save College Sports Act. I don't know what's going to happen with college sports. And I thought Sorsby was the last straw. Maybe this is the last straw, where a guy gets in the portal, transfers to a school, somebody else has an opening, and he leaves for it. I don't know, man. It's strange. All right, let's get to number 3 on our Hesser and Kipke 3 things, and that is the OKC Thunder had to make some room because they have this. Again, I don't understand the NBA, how it works, salary cap, all that stuff, but they had a penalty they had to pay, and they reduced it by $75 million by trading Aaron Wiggins to the Hawks. The Hawks are kind of building this pretty good team after Trae Young left. It's not bad. They've done a pretty good job getting a pretty good young team. So I do pay attention to it, but when they start talking about the numbers and they start talking about, well, they saved $75 million, but they still have a $125 million penalty, I'm like, people dealing in millions I just can't talk. In fact, I did want to bring this up. Joe Hayden was on a podcast. I think it was Channing Crowder's podcast. It might have been a different one. And he was talking about how $50 million isn't $50 million because he signed a $50 million deal. And then he gave his mom and dad, I think, $3 million and bought him a house and all this. And And then he bought a Bentley, then he bought this, and he gave his brothers a car and everything. I'm like, well, that's your fault. That's why $50 million. And then he got taxes had to pay. And I'm like, then next thing you know, you're down to $1 million. And I'm like, okay, all right. Well, you're a great player, Joe, and I loved you at Florida, but it's silly. Anyway, I did want to mention that. All right, let us move along to our Learner Law Club Team of the Week. And, of course, we want to mention, in fact, Learner Law, this is another package I got today. In addition to this book, sent me some headbands, and I promise on Thursday's show I will wear a headband at some point, okay? I haven't opened that package up yet, though, and that's cool for the Atlanta Hustle, and we support the Atlanta Hustle. Of course, they are coming up on, they got 3 big home games left. They had a big win this weekend. Of course, Southeast Frisbee team really does a great job, and Learner Law is a place to go if you need to make a closing. We appreciate them very much as well. All right. I promised you this, and here it comes, and that is Pat Dooley's predictions, and they are brought to you by Mark Gaida, who presents the 12 every Monday here on the podcast, and of course, Mark Gaida from Pepin Realty, and does a great job over there, and we love Mark and love what he does, and I decided today is going to be the day I'm going to pick all 12 games, and I'll do it quickly because we're running a little bit late. We got to get out of here for Lizzie, man. Lizzie's the king, or the queen, actually, but she's the king of this podcast room, I can tell you that. All right. Let's go. All right. Number 1, FAU, W. Number 2, Campbell, W. If they lose those 2 games, then I will walk away. I will shave my head and wear nothing but a headband the rest of the way. All right. If they lose them both. No. I think they go to Auburn and win. I do. I think this is going to be I think it's a game that's going to define the season. I've said that before. I think they're going to go there and win. I think they're going to come home and lose to Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss has too much offensive talent. And look, Ole Miss is going to be an interesting team to watch because of all the stuff that's going on there. But it's going to be an interesting team to watch this year. Then I think they go to Missouri and win. Even though Florida never plays good at Missouri. Well, this has nothing to do with anything. Usually you're playing late. It's a cold day. It's a weird stadium. No, I think they go to Missouri and win. I think they win at South Carolina at home. Swamp comes to life. And then I think they lose the next 3. At Texas, Georgia, and then Oklahoma at home. That was the one I had the most trouble picking when I was doing this today, the Oklahoma game. But I think they bounce back. They beat Kentucky at Kentucky. Again, that's another team that's going to be interesting to watch with Notre Dame's former quarterback and Will Stein. And they're going to be interesting to watch. Some people are very high on them, and Florida's not played well in Kentucky either. But John Summerall's not. And going back home is going to be interesting for him. That's going to be a lot of emotions for him. And then I think they beat Vanderbilt. Again, I think it's because it's a home game. I'm going to give Florida that one. And then the FSU game, the Friday night game in Tallahassee, I think they win that because I think they're better than FSU. And I think they've been better than FSU for a while, and I think they'll continue for a while to be better than FSU in a lot of ways. So that is 8-4, and that is going to be my official prediction going forward. I mean, all the way until – now, I would say if something really weird happened, I might drop it up or down, but that's going to be my prediction for the Gators. So you heard it here first, and Mark Gaida presents the 12. All right. Let us get now to our Gallo Car Wash Sponge of the Weekend. It's brought to you by our good friends at Gallo Car Wash, where we get all of our cars washed. And I know Kelsey's going to need hers car washed because she's still not back, but she's going to be back eventually from a drive from to Miami. So I know she can't wait to get to Gallo. All right. Our Sponge of the Weekend is our friend Miles Russell. Now, if you don't know the story of Miles Russell, I talked about this in my column again today for Main Street Daily News, and that is that Miles Russell actually played in the Bob Dooley Invitational one year. He's a friend of Bill Kretzmann, and he came and played. He was just 11 or 12 years old, and I think they won that year. He was really good. Well, he made the cut at the U.S. Open, and I was so excited for him because, I got to know him a little bit. He's a really good kid. And the bad thing is he's going to FSU next year. But, hey, right now they got things going pretty good. They got him and Charlie Woods. So, anyway, Florida's got Jackson Ormo. We'll see who wins. But what he did on Sunday, on Father's Day, and he went and he talked to the USGA and said, can I let my dad caddy for me on the last hole? And they did that. They gave him the bib, and he caddied for his son on the last hole. And for Miles to do that, to come up with that idea, just a cool thing. And I can't root against that kid. Played in the Bob, appreciates his dad, which is why we had the Bob for 29 years. And Miles Russell is our Gallows Car Wash Sponge of the weekend. All right, we'll wrap it up with our Swamp Restaurant games of the weekend, brought to you by the Swamp Restaurant. They get it done there. You got a lot to watch this weekend, baby, or this week, I'm sorry. And you go to the Swamp Restaurant for all their great drink and food specials. All right, tonight, obviously, you've got the College World Series game. That's at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Yes, it's on I just wanted to double check it wasn't on ABC. Yes, so 7 o'clock on ESPN. You also tonight have Atlanta at San Diego, 10 o'clock on ESPN. Watching it? Me? Not. That's too late for me. I may tape it, though. And then Tuesday, Dodgers at the Twins. We mentioned that earlier on TBS at 7:40. Wednesday, Yankees at Detroit on the Prime Network. That's at 6:40. The draft is 8 o'clock on ABC, both Tuesday and Wednesday, if you're interested in watching that. I think the Wednesday would have a lot more interest if some of the Gators were going to go in there, but they aren't. And then Thursday, of course, is we play Turkey. Now, I think it's still pronounced Turkey, but it's not spelled Turkey anymore. I don't know if you were aware of this, Zach.
I think they say Turquia.
Turquia, yes. So I had looked that up because I had to know who is this Turkey that we're playing? Turquia.
Yeah, same guy.
But they changed it like in 2022, I think. Mm-hmm. But it had always been known in Turkey as Turquia. We just Americanized it, I guess. Mm-hmm. Anyway, we play Turkey. That is the 10 o'clock game on Fox if you want to stay up for that. All right. There's a lot going on this weekend or this week, and there's going to be a lot going on this weekend. And we'll come to you Thursday with another great show. Hopefully I know we'll have Don Gaffney will be joining us. I can't wait to talk to him. First guy to ever win at Jordan-Hare Stadium. I don't know if you knew that, in Auburn. All right. And we'll have a lot of fun with him. All right. We'll be back then. And until then, I am Pat Dooley for another Dooley Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI and Imaging. Coming to you from the Meldon Law Gator Studios. I am deep, I am way back, and I am out of here.